Hi, this is Sherry at the Intentional Home Podcast, where I share tips and resources to help you live with intention and purpose. This is episode number 33, and today we're going to be continuing on our Countdown to Christmas series to help you get prepared for the holidays. Now, if you haven't been able to pick up a copy of the holiday planner, you can do that still. You don't need it necessarily, but there's a lot of forms that go along with these to-do lists that I've been going through. And there's also a lot of additional information in there, some activities, Christmas activities and recipes and things like that that you would not have if you didn't have the planner. So if you would like to grab the planner, go ahead and do that. I will have a link in the show notes where you can go pick up your own copy. So do that if you want to, and then let's hop right into this week's to-do list. We are on week number 3 of our Countdown to Christmas, and this week is Supplies Week. This week we're going to be focusing on making your shopping lists and going shopping. I know it may seem like you're getting way ahead of the game, but believe me, you won't be sorry. Getting this shopping done now, it's going to save you big time later on. And besides, next week is going to be a baking week. So you're going to want to make sure that you have all those ingredients on hand so that your baking week will be a success. So let's go through each of these items and just talk about what you're going to need to do this week. So the first item is to inventory the supplies that you have on hand. So this just kind of, before we go through all these different areas that we need to write down things we need, just kind of inventory what you have for groceries, maybe inventory what you kind of have for craft supplies. Just kind of look at what you have, and then we're going to go through here the rest of our list. So once you've kind of looked at where you're at, now we're going to pull out these lists and start writing things down. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a shopping list for our non-perishables. So you're going to turn to your recipe cards that you filed under the holiday menus and holiday baking sections. So these are the recipes that you're going to be using for your holiday meals and for any holiday baking that you're going to do. And I want you to write down all of the non-perishable foods that you can buy ahead of time. And go ahead and write that all down. Make sure that you have plenty of yeast and related items like that on hand. Any canned goods or boxed goods that you're going to be using. Just write all of those things down. Sugar and any kind of, baking type items. Write all of that down. Now, the next thing then is to do your baking shopping list. So since next week is going to be a baking week, if you're planning on doing some holiday baking ahead of time that you can put in the freezer, include perishable items that you're going to need for those recipes. So figure out, what are some of those things that you're going to be baking to have for the holidays, maybe special cookies or treats that you're going to make up ahead of time and put in the freezer. Make sure you have all of those ingredients, the perishable ones as well, like eggs and milk and things like that. Then the next item is going to be your gift making shopping list. So we talked last week about making a list of the gifts that you're going to make for people. Now you're going to actually look at the supplies that you have on hand and figure out what you're going to need in order to make those gifts and add all of those things to your shopping list. The next item is your decorations shopping list. So turn to those decoration ideas that we worked on last week and jot down any supplies that you're going to need for decorating for the holidays. It's just going to make it a whole lot easier if you have these things bought ahead of time and you're not constantly running to the store to get things when you need them. So we're going through every different area of our holiday planning, and we're writing down all those things that we're going to need for all of those different areas, and we're going to go ahead and get those. So once you have done that, then we're just going to go through and finalize our shopping list. Jot down any other miscellaneous supplies maybe that you're going to need, like maybe batteries for your cameras or your video recorders. If you need gift wrapping or Christmas cards or film, whatever miscellaneous things that you need, go ahead and pick those up. Maybe it's bows and gift bags, or if you're going to do baking, to give as gifts, maybe you need to get some special containers, little holiday plastic tubs or little jars, or decorated plates, just fancy Christmas holiday plates that you want to use to put cookies on to give away. So just kind of think through all of those things that you're going to need and get them all written down on a list. And then once you do that, this week you're going to take those lists and you're going to go shopping. And I know it's, like I said in the beginning, it may seem like overkill and getting way ahead of yourself. But believe me, if you can get some of those things done ahead of time, there's no reason why you have to wait till December 1st to start doing all these things. We can start doing them now so that when the time comes that we're going to need these things, we're going to have them and it's not going to be as stressful. So that is our list for this week of what to do. It's a little more involved this week. It's going to take a little bit of time to go through and look at all these different areas and make sure that you have your lists made. But you'll be so happy that you've done it once it comes time when you need all these supplies. So that is it for this week. Go make those lists and go shopping. Thank you again for joining me here at the Intentional Home Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the Intentional Home Podcast in iTunes or your favorite podcast player. For more information about my podcast and to see the show notes with links to the resources that I've mentioned in each episode, just go to my podcast page at sherrygraham.com/podcast. Thanks and have a wonderful day.